Next up, we have Transhumanist by Billain and Vorso, featured in Geometry Dash, is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically. So if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, members get early access. Artists, I want to collaborate with you. I have a whole spiel for that at the end of the video, so stick around for that. Otherwise, disclaimers showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video if you want to read them in full. Otherwise, let's go ahead and do this. Transhumanist. Let's go. Okay, we have some synths giving us some initial chords, some other samples giving us some texture, and we engage in a doubling from the start. Doubling being when you have more than one instrument playing the same thing at the same time. I'm not going to say this is a melodic motif, even though the leading tone, the highest notes, make a melody right now. I don't think this would be the motif just yet. Motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. So let's just see where it goes. So basically, you're making clearer, bring in. So it is the motif. The highest note of these chords is the motif right now, which is a cool way of doing it, because then you are bringing the motifs in. I like shawarma. I prefer gyros. Hassan, welcome today. How you doing? So we have this now. We bring in the initial drums. And something I like about this is that we are engaging in voice leading. So voice leading, circle of fifths. Voice leading is a concept of becoming more efficient with your chord changes. When you have music, you have three main components. You have melody, harmony, and rhythm. Melody being the individual horizontal lines that you have, rhythm being the use of time, and harmony being by far the most complex, because it's what scales you're using, what chords you're using, what scales you get out of your chords, what chords you get out of your scales, the relationship between them, and you can keep extrapolating for this. Is by far the most complex aspect of this. What do you think of KFC hamburgers? If they're chicken, if they're chicken sandwiches, I like them. Ever since I learned how to cook my own beef, I don't eat beef cooked by other people. I just don't like it. Like I don't go to steak restaurants or anything like that, because I cook my own steak and I know how to make it the way I like it. Same thing with other type of things. So. Yeah. Anyway, so we're having harmony over here, and the concept of voice leading is what you do with a chord progression. So a chord progression is whatever chords you have in whatever order you have. So let's say we have a chord progression of let's do what? 1 6 1 6 4 and 5. So chords in harmony are determined by Roman numerals. So if you don't know how to read Roman numerals, then I can't really go look up. It's a fairly straightforward thing, right? And as you can see, they're uppercase and lowercase. Uppercase meaning it's a major chord. Minor case meaning it's a minor chord. The difference between a major and a minor chord is the third. So we have, let me bring you an example of this, right? So we have the scale of C major. C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. Then C again is the octave. We have the individual notes. So we have C being the root note or the first note, D being the second, E being the third, F, G being the fourth, and I said 6. I said 6, not 4. 1 6 4 5. G being the fifth. And the way chords work is usually you're gonna do what is called a triad. Triads just means 3 notes in a chord that are stacked vertically, and usually you're just gonna skip one note, right? So C, E, and G, you skip every other note. And yes, you can have B for an extended chord, but we're just doing a triad, right? So we're having this C, E, and G, which the third is going to determine whether or not is major or minor. A major third is going to be a major chord. A minor third is going to be a minor chord. So in the case of C major, we have right here C, E, and G. This is the major chord. with E being the major third, and then if we were to switch that E to a minor third, we get E minor. This is determined by a bunch of different factors. There's a bunch of formulas that you can get to get the different scales, but that's not the point over here, right? So what we are doing now is that we have our chord progression over here. So let's just go, let me actually do this one vertically so that you can get a better view of this. So let's do the C major scale, E, F, G, A, B, and oh shit, upside down. Let's do it upside down. So let's go, it was my computer, sorry. C, D, E, F, G, A, and B, and then the octave is C. So let's say we are having our chord progression over here. So C would be the one chord, which would be C, E, and G. Now, the sixth chord would be A minor, which would be A, C, and then an E up here. Then the 4 major is going to be F, A, and C, and then the 5 chord is going to be G, B, and D up here. So the way voice leading works is that we get rid of, and this is how it would sound, by the way, if we were to just do the chords in what are called root positions, we would have C, then A, then F, then G. Sorry, and then back to C. So what voice leading does is that we then decide, okay, let's see the common denominators between these chords, and then instead of jumping around like we're freaking monkeys, we are just going to hold some of those notes and then move around. So in the case of a 1, 6, 4, 5 in the key of C major, we have C being made by C, E, and G. Then we have A minor, which is A, C, and E. So we have 2 notes that are a common denominator. So we hold C, we hold E, and then we just move A. We move 1 note instead of all 3. Then we have the 4 chord, which is going to be F, A, and C. We already have A, we already have C. We just have to move E up another note. So we go for C, F, and A. Then we have the G chord, which this one we do have to move all of the notes because the G chord is G, B, and D. However, we only need to move these 1 step, all of them. So C goes up to D, F goes up to G, A goes up to B, and now we have our chord progression. Instead of having to go up and down to different points on the scale, what used to sound like this, now we have this. Oh, my bad. And then we can bring it back. So let me do that again, right? So you have C, A, F, G, and then back to C. So now it's a lot simpler, it's a lot better, and then we have a melody on top. So we're doing something like that with our melody over here. We are playing those chords, we're doing voice leading, and that has created our motif. Classical, welcome today, how you doing? Gonna be first song of the day? I don't know. Well, welcome today, so you, let's see where it goes. Mango's team, welcome today. So yes, all that spiel for the first 30 seconds. So now we're bringing in the drums very slowly. We're introducing everything very slowly right now. Here comes the bass. Here comes the whoop whoop bass. So we bring some secondary material over here, which sounds to be the actual, it could be the actual motif, or it could be our bass line. The cool thing about electronic music, especially dubstep, is that you can take advantage of the fact that the bass is pretty free in most of these things. You don't need the material to be too related, because there's one of the challenges of writing instrumental music is that your motif is very temperamental and it's very jealous. If you don't keep the spotlight constantly on your motif, it will ruin your music. However, if you have a good bass line, you can do almost anything you want with a bass line, and as long as it fits enough, you can get away with it. And because usually the motif is higher up in the melody, you can get, it doesn't feel like the spotlight is being taken away from it. And yes, I know I'm using very irrational terms for music. It's because music is very irrational like that. So yes, we're having this going on. We're having this really cool bass. We introduced the drum beat. Really cool, really, really cool. We have the motif still playing on the top, and now we have a more complex bass line going on. Let's see where it goes. Nope. It's the same. It's the same motif. It's just arpeggiated in the bass. So an arpeggio is when you play a chord one note at a time. So if we were to bring up that same chord sequence we were doing as arpeggios instead, so here's the block chord, here's arpeggio. If we were to do it arpeggiated, it would sound a little bit like this. Let's do a simple arpeggios, right? So and then we can just end it like that. So it really turns your chords into melodies, and right now we're doing a more complex arpeggio than this, doing a more rhythmic version of our motif in what is also called a, I mean, it's not really a reduction, we're just arpeggiating it really fast. So let's see where this goes. Was it with the mustache in this logo? No clue. Love your hairstyle. Thank you, I grew it myself. I don't know, dude. I don't know. But let's see where it goes. So now we bring in more accent, more in your face. We change the drums a little bit. Ooh. Oh, dude. Oh, that's so cool. So we changed the drums over here to give us a somewhat uneven beat in contrast to the rest of the metronome. Insanely good. It's insanely good. We're just engaging with a little bit of rhythmic displacement, by the way. This is a little bit of rhythmic displacement, which just means you're moving your rhythm around ever so slightly, either forwards or backwards to change how it feels. And oh boy, did this change how this whole thing is feeling. I have to bring it up. If you want to hear another example that just goes to highlight how important your accompaniment section is, listen to the intro of The Mirror by Dream Theater. Intro of The Mirror by Dream Theater. The guitar is doing the same thing for 1 minute. John, 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 John. 1 minute straight, which, by the way, if you're doing the... that is called an ostinato. And then the drums, the bass, the synths, they change around the guitar while the guitar is still doing the same thing, and they change the feeling completely. There are points where it's genuinely difficult to tell that the guitar is still doing the same thing. It doesn't matter how many times I listen to it, it still gets me. So yeah, second time today. Yeah, I need to do better. We're on the fourth song of the day, and I've only done it twice. So yeah, I need to do better. So yeah, let's see where this goes. And it's happening over here in a less obvious way. We now change... Oh, this is really cool. So we changed the drums. So we had the bass drum changing into the bass drum partially of the following beat. This is such a cool thing to do. I do it as well. I've done it as well. And one of my songs, like my song I Live On, by the way, I'm gonna show you all. I might as well. So I Live On by me. Warning, this has growling, but I want to show you, right? So let me just bring up the volume a little bit, and you will be able to hear it because it's just what happened over here, just in metal. So I think it's here. Let me go a little bit forward. Here we go. Pay attention to the drums. And yes, that is me singing and growling into the guitars and everything. So listen to the drums. Drums and guitar. Pay attention. How the rhythm is right now very dance-like. Drums change. The drums are now playing the following parts. They're foreshadowing the following part. You can hear the difference. and then we bring in the next section. So yeah, that is in a different way, in a less exaggerated way, what has also happened over here. We have used the drums to foreshadow the next section. It's a really, really cool thing to do, and I need to do more of it because it's so much fun. Let's see where it goes. We go for a build up, slowly building up for a drop, and we drop. Entirely dropping off the beat, no related material pretty much at all. So this is one of the really cool things about electronic music, right? Because when you're making music, you want to keep a very careful balance between what is familiar and what is new. Too much familiarity, too much of the same thing, too much repetition, you risk boring the listener, they tune out. Too much new material too quickly, you risk overwhelming the listener, they tune out. There's one universal exception, which is solos. In any genre, as long as you have a solo, you can introduce whatever new material you want, as much of it as you want, and you can get away with it as long as it sounds good enough, cool enough, and it fits enough. Yes, there's rule of cool of that, and then electronic music has an additional exception, which is dropping the beat. What is happening over here? Completely new material. Completely unrelated to anything else. We are keeping some of the instruments, some of the vibe is staying there, but it sounds cool. It sounds cool. It's purely percussive. It has that like going up synth, building that tension, and that's about it. So, let's see. Let's see where it goes. See? So we're just messing around with rhythms over here between the bass and the drums. Let's see. Once again. We're doing more extended rhythms. Oh, this is really cool. And you can hear how we're slowly bringing new variations of these rhythms. We're not really using any melodies right now. We are just entirely focusing on making these sound as fun as possible. This is really good. Let's see where it goes. Slowly adding more elements, slowly adding more percussion, and we're slowly building up. New version. We bring back the accelerated version of the beat, the arpeggiated version of the motif with this new beat. Nice. And we have in the background, we have some of those synths giving us those chords, kind of mirroring the older motif that we had, of course, now in this current context. Really cool. Let's see where it goes. We're taking our time. There's the older synth for this motif. Giving it. Oh. So yes, now we have the drums engaging in accents. This part right here, the drums are engaging in accents. Accents is not to be able to tell whether or not somebody is from Wisconsin or Wyoming. It is for accentuation. Accentuation meaning when you have an instrument highlighting specific points of the rhythm. In this case, right now, you can hear how the drums are highlighting the arpeggiated motif. And in contrast to the original motif, the block chord motif, it's just giving such a cool back and forth contrast between the two. This is insane. Let's see where it goes. And we're slowly building up. We're building up, turning up the tension, and dropping right away to the next version. Oh, we break it down, and once again, new variation. New variation again. And I like how every time we're trying to do like a different focal point. Sometimes it's a little bit higher, sometimes it's more on the bass, sometimes it's more on the drums. But every iteration of this, we are giving something else the spotlight. This is a really, really good way of developing material to just go around focusing on different parts of the ensemble. This is something that we would call instrumentation or even orchestration. orchestration, because when you're writing orchestral music, on principle, you're doing something like this as well. You're just picking and choosing which instrument, which synth, which layer of music gets what. And that's it, right? So yeah, on principle, these are pretty much the same thing. And right now we are hearing a really cool, because it's mostly the same material we are hearing with some slight variations, but the slight variations are coming with whatever layer is being focused on at the time, which is a really, really cool way of doing this. Let's see where this goes. So you can hear the motif there. Now we're bringing the build up back and forth. We're alternating now. Let's see. Alternate again. So yeah, we're alternating between this one synth that is slowly going up in pitch and the other one doing the variation of the original motif. Let's see. With some percussions in the middle. Let's see. And now we're doing both at the same time. We're turning up the pitch. Dropping again. Purely percussion. And now the focus is we're doing a couple of repetitions of this really cool beat. And we're having a different ending, or we're focusing now on the ending, making this a de facto call and response. So call and response being a musical conversation, right? You can hear it right now between the two parts of this rhythm. Call and response is basically instrument 1 starts, when it stops, instrument 2 starts, then when it stops, 1 starts, back and forth, call and response, that kind of stuff. Yes, VIP. So we're having these back and forth, and we're doing this in a more meta sense, where the call is being done by the drum beat itself, and the response is being done by the variation. Let's see where it goes. There you go. Call is right there. And the ending, response. Variation. Now we're doing both. We're shortening the time. Cool. Up, we're bringing the bass line again. Let's see. We're slowly building up again. There's the motif back again with this new drum beat. Let's see. Off the ramp we go. Off the ramp being a colloquial term that I use, by the way. By that I mean there's no official academic definition for this, or at least I'm not using it for the sake of simplicity. And off the ramp is what I call a transition. It can be as short as a couple of beats. It can be as long as an entire section. And the purpose of it is to make your listener feel suspended up in the air at the mercy of inertia, waiting to see where you'll land. How do you do that? Remove the drums. Maybe the bass as well, which is what happened over here. We bring back the original motif, now with nothing else. Let's see where it goes. Let's see. Yeah, we're basically recapitulating. Yeah, we're recapitulating the intro. Recapitulation just means we're doing basically the same thing. We're just revisiting material 1 to 1. We let it play one more time. We gave that subtle drum one more time. We let it echo out. We have this one last synth higher up. We let that echo out. And there you have it. That was fun. That was really fun. Like, putting this in a video game, that's a lot of fun. Like, this is pure soundtrack goodness, dude. Or like doing like workout or like running, stuff like that. Using this as a soundtrack, really good. Like, by itself was already pretty decent, but keeping that vibe, really cool. So there you go. That was Transhumanist by Billain and Vorso, featured in Geometry Dash, is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, if we somehow hit 10,000 followers before Christmas of 2025, I will take a single fan fiction of the choice of the community, and I will fully produce, record, and voice act an audiobook for it. We also have a member who offered to do a Discord Nitro giveaway. We might do more giveaways. If you have any other ideas or you want to contribute more to it, let me know. We'll make as much of this happen as possible. This has to be achieved through legitimate and honest means only. No account duping, no botting, no alting, no buying followers, no rat behaviors like that. Instead, go share the videos, the streams with your friends, with your families, with your family's friends, with your friends' families. Those are two distinct concepts, by the way. With your online and offline communities, go share the word with everybody. Yes, use the hype feature on YouTube. I don't know how it works, but we have a group on the Discord that does, so go check it out. Link down below to the Discord. Artists, Billain Vorso, Inspector, any artist on YouTube, if you want to collaborate with me, please let me know. I can provide, I'm more than happy to provide any of my musical skills, whether it is my guitars, my Mongolian throat singing, you know, the good old ooh, 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 kind of thing, or singing, voice acting, or helping you in your composition. Anything like that, just reach out, let me know. We'll make it work as much as possible. If you're in the audience and you know somebody that would benefit from it, let them know. Do not spam anyone, do not harass anyone. Please do not be a rat about it. Members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of the tier that you're in, you get access to the videos on Saturday when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs. So become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I will be linking it in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the pinned comment down below. It has the instructions. If you're on the stream, you can go ahead and start requesting. And if you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. If you're not in Europe, do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch, both linked down below. So if you live in Romanzo and you're like, yeah, but what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Don't worry. Just go to the Discord or the Twitch, both linked down below, and it shows in your local time zone. And follow the gaming channel. We have a gaming channel because, of course, I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. That's where we put the gaming after show recordings when they happen. They get recorded on the main channel, and then they go there. We've played games like Expedition 33, Vintage Story, Silent Hill F. We're gonna be playing through a big list. I have a massive list of games, so it's a lot of fun. It's fun hanging out. Link down below, or just search on YouTube. Same username as James R. Basterd, just off the J for a G, and you got it. And yeah. There you go. Transhumanist, Billain and Vorso. Really good stuff, man. Really, really good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.